everyone, I'm Hillary May and I'm your Miss Delaware 2019, and I'm going to talk to you today about stress. Now, I've had the privilege of studying stress for a little while now, whether it was in my undergraduate degree in psychology or my extra undergraduate work in chemistry, neuroscience, and philosophy, or in my time in the mental health community, which has been a few years now. I'm coming to you today as a representative of the Miss America class of 2020, and I'm so proud to say that in just 1 year of competing with the Miss America organization, I earned over $15,000 in scholarship money. Every year, women from across the country vie for the job of Miss America, and this year, my class, the Miss America 2020 class, is so excited to bring you a series of videos that will not only entertain you, but also teach you a little something while you're stuck at home. In this video, we're going to talk about what is stress, what causes stress, and how can you better handle your stress. Then we're going to round it all out with a couple activities that you can do at home to help you manage your stress more effectively. So let's get started. What is stress? Stress is something we talk about all the time because every single one of us experiences it. At its most basic level, stress is something that our body does to tell us when it needs a rest or when it needs some help. Stress, in its positive sense, is a motivational factor. So say that you're incredibly stressed about a deadline coming up. It probably means that you care about what's going to happen and you care about the negative consequences that might come out of that if it were not to be successful. And that's totally fine. These are all healthy and normal things that we experience. But making sure that these stressful feelings don't get out of hand is what we need to focus on, and is what we're going to talk about later in this video. So what can cause stress? I know it might sound silly, but absolutely anything can cause stress. Every single person is different, which means every single person's experiences and the things that are important to them are also different. So even if something is super small to someone, it might be a huge thing to someone else. So your stress can come from anywhere and you might not even realize it. So by taking a couple minutes to really check in with yourself, see what's going on, is going to be really helpful in managing your stress. So how can we manage our stress? Well, there's two different ways that I personally like to manage my stress. The first one is a meditative mindfulness exercise. The second is making lists of things that you're doing and then how you felt when you were doing them. Was it something that you enjoyed? Was it something that was a bit harder for you? Is it something that feels like work, or is it something that feels like fun? When you make your list, you can look at these things and see the balance between work and fun, and see if there's any way that you can take some things that seemed more like work and try and work in a little bit more fun to try and balance out those two things in your life. Now, together, we're going to do a little mindfulness exercise, and you'll hear my voice change a little bit. Don't be alarmed. But it's just a different sort of tonality that works with you and works with your body to help ease your feelings and to start melting you down into this more relaxing and meditative state that we're about to enter into as part of this mindfulness exercise. So, before we begin, there's two things that you need to do. The first is you need to have some sort of anchoring point. So I like to cross my legs because in my daily life, this is what's most comfortable for me. You can also put your feet flat on the ground, but whichever way you sit, you want it to be comfortable, number one, but you also want to have some point that's sturdy that you're putting yourself on. So whether that's your feet or your legs or your behind, just a sturdy place that you're sitting on. The second thing is you want to have some part of your body that's raised or lifted. So 9 times out of 10, that's going to be your shoulders, it's going to be a straight back, and you're going to sort of reach your shoulders and chest up to the sky. So you have your grounding point and you have your lifted point that you can go back and forth between. So then you can either practice this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. Most people do it with their eyes closed because it's a little more comfortable. I'm going to close my eyes because that's what I find most helpful, but you can do whatever you want. If you close your eyes, that should all be fine. You can just follow the sound of my voice and this should still be an effective exercise for you. So we're going to close our eyes and we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. So the exercise that I'm going to show you now is called 4-4-5. You're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and then exhale for 5. And what that's going to do, by inhaling and then exhaling for a longer amount of time than you're inhaling, you're actually calming down your nerves, your nervous system, and it's actually on some occasions going to make you sleepy. So you can make your exhale number as big as you want, but don't make it more than double. So if your inhale is 4, you need to cap it at 8, because if you start going to 9 and 10, then you start getting into some issues of maybe passing out, and that's not what we want people to do. So breathe in for 4, you're going to hold for 4, and breathe out for 5. Let's do that together. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. How did that feel? Did it feel weird? Did it feel good? With practice, it's going to get better, and then you can start adding in some other things. And now the second exercise is something that you can do a lot of times to help yourself sleep. If you're having a hard time going to sleep because your mind is just racing, this is something that's also really good to do. So you're just going to sit with your eyes closed and not do anything. And that sounds so hard, and it is. But what I want you to do is notice the things that are popping into your mind. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, and you start thinking about what you have to do tomorrow, and you start planning things in your mind, or at least that's what I find myself doing. I want you to notice those things, I want you to respect those things, and then I want you to put them into a bucket. And there's going to be a number of buckets that you're going to have in your mind. There's going to be your positive bucket, there's going to be your negative bucket, and then there's going to be your not now bucket. And your not now bucket is what I think a lot of things are going to fall into. And those are things that are important. Those are things that you do need to do, but you don't need to do them now. You don't need to solve everything while you're trying to go to sleep. So if you just put them in the bucket, you're recognizing that those are important things, but you're telling them that this is not the time. You don't have space in your mind for them now, and you'll see them later. So that's your not now bucket. Any negative thoughts you have, any bad things that came from the day, those are going to go into the no bucket, into the negative bucket. And I actually like to think of my negative bucket as a shredder, because I just want them gone. And so you can do that too if you feel like it's going to be helpful. And then your positive bucket, you can decorate it in your mind, you can do whatever you want, just make it a happy place that whenever you store these thoughts in your happy bucket, you can come and pull them back out later, and they'll really help uplift you later on. Thank you all so much for listening to my talk on mindfulness and stress relief. I hope it's been helpful. I hope you can use these tools at your home and when you're trying to go to sleep, and if you just need a couple of minutes. I will say that the 4-4-5, every 5 times you do it, that's 2 minutes. So if you just start on day 1 doing it 5 times, just taking 2 minutes out of your day, that's already going to be such a benefit for you. And then you can up your time later if you feel you have the time and if you want to do that. If you decide to try this at home, be sure to snap a photo and share it on social media with the hashtag MissAmericaHowTo. You can also follow me on social media at MissAmericaDE or at RealMissMay for more information on mindfulness and stress relief. I am in the mental health community, so there will be all things positive vibes coming from my social media. From me and the rest of the class of 2020, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you back at our next Miss America How To lesson.